Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I want to share with you how God helped me in turning my morning into dancing. Love someone or you have loved someone that you care about. This is me sharing my life experience to strengthen someone out there that is in need of this kind of message, on how to turn a page, how to actually find strength and purpose in what was meant to destroy you. So I lost my dad when I was much younger, and then it was terrible. It was a long battle, and eventually we lost him. But Mom was around, so we were able to actually move past that because she was there. She was our rock. She reassured us over and over that she'll be there, and she did exactly that. She was our emotional strength. She gave us that emotional support that we needed at that point in our lives. So, fast forward to my mom. My mom and I was very close. She was very close to every one of us. She was our role model. She was our strength. She was our refuge. She was our rock. She single-handedly raised 5 of us, and then she imparted in us what has made all the difference in our life today by the help of God. She trained us on how to love people, how to respect people, how to fear God, how to walk on the path of righteousness, how to prevail others. So when I got a call from my grandmother that my mom was sick, that was strange. And then convincing her to come over to my place was difficult because she felt, oh, why is Mama bothering you? It's a small thing, I'll be fine. I'm going to see my doctor very soon. But to cut the story short, she came and we took her to the hospital, and that was it. She was in hospital for 4 weeks. And I took time off to be with her, and we didn't see that coming at all. It shook my mom's death. It was one death too many. It shook the foundation of my life. Myself and my sibling, we were traumatized because Mom, she was the best. I'm sure most of us say this about our mother. My mom, she's the best. She gave everything. She sacrificed everything to ensure that we have good education. She sold so much in our lives. And we were just at that point when we were just settling down, and we had such a good plan, such a good dream for her. I asked God so many questions. I asked God so many questions. Why would she die? Mom, why would she die? So I was in this state forever. I internalized my pain. I couldn't just understand why she couldn't be here anymore. And each year, as we celebrate, as we remember now, it was always a time of weeping and crying and lamenting and asking God questions. Myself and my sisters and my brothers. Because my grandmother was still around. She couldn't just move past my mom's death. And that's grandma being around made it so difficult for me. Because she will not just stop talking about her, and she will not just stop crying about her loss. And when she called me, it was that kind of roller coaster emotion. We cried. So I was like that forever. Until I lost my grandmother, and when I lost my grandmother, Jesus Christ, it was as if mom just passed away. So as if mom just passed away. And prior to that, I was having a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of nightmares. You know, my husband was so worried for me. So when I was just getting better, then grandma passed away as well. It was terrible. It was the most terrible thing that can happen to anyone, losing the most important people in your life, those that, you know, that you loved so much. So when I lost my grandmother, and then I started having this panic attack, and then I started to seek help. And I realized that I have to help myself. I need to help myself, because I know God is ever willing to help me, but I need to take some step on how to actually stop feeling that way or feeling guilty. You know, I just want to be, I was just finding a way to blame myself for anything, just to keep feeling bad about it. So when we buried grandma, and I decided I needed to take a step forward. And I think a year or so after we buried grandma, I was thinking of how to move forward, and I realized, what can I do to make this better? Then I was thinking about my mom. What would she have loved me to do? Would she be proud of me wasting away, crying all the time? So I decided to find strength and purpose in what was meant to destroy you. So that remembering now will not just be a time of crying and weeping for me and my siblings. And that's how I pick up some of the things I wrote about my mom when she passed away. What mattered to her? What are the causes that she was passionate about? Who is she? Who is my mom? Forgiving person I've ever met in my life. Forgiving people comes so easily for my mom. She is and she was a peacemaker, a problem solver. She was full of love. She lived a life of stewardship, a life of servitude. She brought joy to so many people's lives. She cared for people around her. And then I realized, we need to do something about sustaining Mommy's legacy. And that's how my siblings and I decided to start a foundation in her remembrance. And we started the foundation in remembrance just to cater for what mom used to care for when she was there. We tried to reach out to people she loved, people she always make provisions for in her community. My mom was not just a church leader, she was a community leader. And we saw her doing this. We saw her touching lives. We saw her making a difference. We saw her, putting smiles on people's faces. Then we decided to follow that path. And believe me, that was the beginning of healing for me. Starting a foundation in her name was the beginning of healing for me. And we just started something small. So if you're out there, you are going through similar things, why can't you start to turn your loss, your grief into a purpose? I know grieving is in stages, and then no one goes through mourning, grieving, and loss of loved ones the same way. So, and I will advise you to take your time and go through it your whole way. And if you need any kind of support, there are so many supports out there. People that support people that are bereaved, people that are grieving, people that don't have any support system. You can seek help. You don't need to carry on as if they're going to show up tomorrow. They're not coming back anymore. I learned in a very hard way. And that's why I'm putting out there for people that might need this information. They're not coming back anymore. Acknowledge that they are not here anymore. It's the beginning of healing. The moment you are able to acknowledge that they are not coming back, then you have to think of what you can do to honor their memories. These are one of the things that changed my life. It changed my life. So reaching out in her names gave me so much peace and joy. Reaching out to the less privileged with our widow's mite in our little way. And I'm telling you, you don't have to start in a big way. Start from where you are. Give according to the blessings of God upon your life. Touch lives in the name of the person that you love. Think about what are the things that matters to them in life. Identify with those values. Identify with the causes that are important to them in life. And give towards this. We see people setting up foundations in the name of their loved ones. We've seen people giving scholarships in the name of their loved ones. We've seen people giving donations to research institutes in support of finding solutions, medical solutions. What was responsible for the death of their loved ones? We see people creating awareness. These are the way you need to channel that energy in a positive way to be able to move forward. You see people, joining cancer and awareness groups or telling people what to look out for so that they won't be, a victim of what happened to their loved ones. You see people joining groups that advise, people that champions that cause, people that advocates. The way you need to channel that energy in a positive way to be able to move forward. You see people, joining cancer and awareness groups or telling people what to look out for so that they won't be, a victim of what happened to their loved ones. You see people joining groups that advise, people that champions that cause, people that advocates. These are the way you can make their memory to continue. This is the way you can honor their memories. That's the word. This is the way you can honor their memory. This is the way you can keep celebrating their lives. And then at the same time, you are finding healings and you are touching lives. You are making a difference. You can start by giving to the people in your community. That's another way to turn your loss into a purpose. By being a part of community groups, you can start by having a food banks, giving some things to the destitute in your area, support the elderly, the vulnerables. When you do any of these, which are all acts of love, showing compassion to people in your life, this is just the summary of it. Showing compassion is a way you can find purpose in your loves. Showing compassion, loving people. This is a way you can actually turn around what was meant to kill you, what was meant to destroy you, into a purpose. So you don't have to set up a foundation. You can do no matter how small it is. When you come to that terms that, oh, this is what I'm doing to make sure that I'm sustaining their legacy, to ensure that what they believe in, you carry it on. And this is what we mean when we say, oh, they live on through us. Now I can say that, oh, my mom, my grandmother, my dad, and I just lost my sister-in-law as well. They live on through us because we do not. Now we know how to. We know better. So the earlier you realize this, the better. So I don't want you to be like me. That took me forever to get to this point. And I don't want you as well to think or seeking temporary solutions will make the pain go away. The pain don't go away. You just have to find a way of converting it into something positive. So seeking help in taking drugs or alcohol or smoking or embracing some destructive behaviors like what I've mentioned earlier, it's not going to solve any of this. And I know you don't want it to degenerate into you having a depression. It can be that bad because I knew what I went through. And I don't want anyone out there to actually ever feel that way. So this is what I did in turning what was meant to break me into a source of strength, reaching out in the name of my parents, my grandparents, touching lives, doing what I know they will be so proud if they're looking down right now. So this is it. It's not as if it's going to disappear. Even right now, I still have that kind of roller coaster kind of emotion when we call her name. When I talk with my sister, at times we might be laughing. Oh, mommy said this. Oh, we laugh. But in the same minute, you will see us crying again. But this time around, it is not the way it used to be before. We love talking about her now, and we're always making plans together on what we can do. What are the things we can do more to support people that we know mommy cared about, to support the causes that we know she believed in. So these are the things you can do. This is what helped me, and I know if you can actually embrace this, you will see how fulfilling and how satisfactory this can be. It is fulfilling, knowing that you are helping others, knowing that you are being a blessing to people. It is so therapeutic. It helps you to move forward, to move past that stage of grieving in your life. So this is what I have for you tonight, and I hope this will be a blessing to someone out there. If you have lost someone, I am sorry for your loss, but these are the things you need to do to honor their legacy, to make sure that they carry on living through you by touching lives in their names. So this is it for tonight. And I want to say that for our guiding agents over there, I know they are watching over us. We will not stop loving you. We will not stop loving you by doing what we believed you loved so much when you were still here with us. So I say, we won't stop, and we won't stop loving you forever and ever, and forever and ever. Oh, we won't stop, and we won't stop loving you forever and ever, and forever and